All right there, fellow rebels, this week's question we're going to tackle in just a moment here. First, I just want to thank you for joining us and being a part of this whole dang thing. Rebellious spirits, it exists without you, but it's not nearly as fun or successful without you. So thanks for being a part of this. This week's question is, have you ever encountered something demonic? Now, this is a very hot button thing, right? People love the bad boy. They want demon stories. They want possession. They want scratching and biting. And sounds like a weird S&M club, but they want a lot of stuff. Now, do I believe demons exist? Well, again, we don't all have to sing from the same hymnal. But being a Christian and someone who has been in very deep thought about philosophy and spirituality and things for many, many years, I do believe that if we're going to have a good side, we have to have a bad side, right? So if I'm going to believe in angels, then I also have to believe that demons exist. And I believe that historically there seems to be enough evidence to present for their case. And just, biblically speaking, there's quite a bit of things written in there. Take that as you will. But when it comes to actually going out there and doing cases, I haven't come across anything that I would ever say was demonic. I've come across some grumpy spirits. I've come across some negative spirits. I've come across some just weird things, but nothing that I would say is demonic. If we're looking at certain signs and things supposed to be the smell of rotting flesh or little puffs of fire, crazy emotional changes, signs of possession, I don't see any of that, man. I just don't. And I've been doing this, for over 30 years now, over 27 countries across 6 continents. Some of the most haunted locations people say are out there. Just never came across it. Now, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but like I said, I believe that it could be, but I don't believe it's nearly as common as people want to believe it is. And why we want to believe it is, I don't know. We say we want love and light and kindness, but we love misery and nonsense and bullshit, because that's just what we do. We share negativity. We talk negatively. We are completely contradicting ourselves in the way we act versus the way we say we want to act. And I think that carries over into the spiritual realm. We want love and light, but we want to encounter demons and darkness and get scratched and get bit. And I don't get any of that. I've never had any of that type of stuff happen. So do I believe it can exist? Yes. Do I believe I've ever come across it? No. I do believe that possession can happen. Have I ever come across somebody that's possessed? No. No, I have not. I don't think it's, again, nearly as common as people think it is. I did read a wonderful book, Hostage to the Devil by Malachi Martin, one of my favorite paranormal books that tackles this subject. And I think it shows where the change in evidence needs to be for something demonic, right? Because we often think, okay, signs of incredible strength, people talking in tongues, people's hygiene falling off, them not wanting to hang out in the same social circles, and that kind of thing. But yet, if we look at that from a mental health standpoint, we find that a lot of people that have mental health struggles also may experience incredible feats of strength. They may talk in tongues. Their hygiene may not be the best. They may no longer want to hang out with their friends or family or even some of their pets that they usually do. But that doesn't mean they're possessed. It just means there's some other struggle going on. A lot of people that died early on from failed exorcisms died not because they were possessed, but because we would lock these people in rooms. We would tether them to the beds. We'd slide some food and water in there and let them try to eat it, but they'd just throw it around, smash it. Most of these people died from dehydration and malnutrition. If you ever saw the story of Emily Rose, there was a movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. The real young girl's name was Annalie Michelle. She died from malnutrition and dehydration. She didn't die because she was possessed, but old world thinking, old world ways, we need to evolve those things, So again, just to recap before everyone gets all angry and hateful, do I believe demons exist? Yes. I do believe they do. Do I believe possession is real? Yes, I do believe it can happen. Do I believe that it happens on every episode conveniently before your first commercial break and then you're fine at the end of the show? Spin again, friends. That's BS. BS to its finest. If you want to be entertained, you want a story, enjoy it, but don't take it to heart. Don't be afraid of things that are very, very rare. But be respectful, be thoughtful of it, but don't live your life in fear, man. Faith over fear, my friends. Tell us your stories, man. If you got stories, throw them down in the chat. We love to see them. Just be respectful. Just be kind. That's all we ever ask. Just be thoughtful of each other. You don't have to pig pile at each other. No room for hate. Darkness upon darkness does nothing to help the light. That's Martin Luther King Jr. And it's just so very important that we just kind to each other, especially when we're talking about dark subjects. And you know what? Quick aside, Hey, throw this down in the comments too. Kris and I were talking about doing like a top 5 list of things. If we both do a top 5, like what kind of things would you like to hear? Like top 5 locations, top 5 evidence, like those kind of things. If you'd like that kind of stuff, give us some ideas. Throw it down there in the comments. We will get to it. I think it'd be a fun little side video project for us. But anyway, enough from me. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together because she can hear you through the internet. Televisions. Kris Williams will now take the stage. Kris, do you believe in demons? Or do they believe in you?
I don't know if they believe in me, but like you, I do believe in the possibility that demons or demonic activity could exist. And like you, I have never experienced it for myself. Like Dustin said, he's been doing this for over 30 years and he has never experienced anything that he would consider demonic. I was actively on the road looking for paranormal activity for 4 years and I never encountered it. I also know other investigators who have been at it way longer than Dustin and I, and they'll be the first to tell you that demonic activity is insanely rare. They'll tell you that they've either never experienced it for themselves, or they've experienced it, but it's only been like once or twice in the entire time they've worked in the field. I also agree with Dustin on the idea of angry or grumpy or negative spirits. If spirits are people who've passed, who's to say those people in life weren't assholes? And who's to say they're not still assholes in death? I don't believe that something that comes off mean or angry or negative is automatically demonic. I also agree that demonic activity is not as common as some people like to believe, and it's not as common as some investigators would like to have you believe. And this is how you can tell the difference between the reality of paranormal investigation versus paranormal entertainment. If someone is regularly running around in circles screaming about demons and demonic activity and possession, that is paranormal entertainment. Paranormal investigation in reality is a lot more low-key and a lot less crazy. Most of the time, you're going to walk away from a location experiencing absolutely nothing. That is the norm. Other times, you might hear footsteps, you might hear a door close. If you're lucky, you might see a shadow figure, or you might hear a voice. And if you're insanely lucky, you might see something move, or you might see an apparition. Some of which I have never experienced in my 4 years of investigating. Like Dustin and most of the people I know in the field have told me, you could go 20 plus years without experiencing anything demonic. So the odds that somebody would experience it every single time they go into a location is straight up nonsense. Unfortunately, the words demon, demonic, and possession have turned into paranormal clickbait. The people that throw around these words willy-nilly know that it'll get them attention, it'll get them likes, it'll get them subscribers, it'll get them comments, but it's not the reality of ghost hunting. Don't get me wrong, I do think there's a place for paranormal entertainment. I will be the first to say that I've always loved the show A Haunting. I love a good story and I love a good scare. But it's when people try to sell paranormal entertainment as reality that I get annoyed, because it really doesn't help the field when it comes to being taken seriously. Long story short, do I believe demonic activity is possible? Based on what I've learned from people that I trust who have been in the field forever, I am open to the idea that it's possible. Have I ever experienced it myself? No, because it's insanely rare. I mean, I have met plenty of breathers who technically aren't demons, but I think they could qualify. Let us know what you think below and share any stories you might have. As always, thank you so much for watching and for supporting our channel. We'll see you here again next week.